Good morning, everybody. How's everybody's day going so far? Today, we are going to do some tapping and maybe a quick little meditation around the affirmation or the anchor and whatever comes up within that, which is my body is responding well to the changes I am making. And so for me, this is something I first heard about this affirmation. I first heard this affirmation or something very similar to it a couple years ago from one of my tapping mentors, and it stuck with me. And it's time and time and time again I've come back to that affirmation and to like anchor into that energy of what that means for me in many different situations for many different things. It's a very versatile affirmation or awareness to have. And lately it's been, over the past few months has been a really big anchor in the work that I've been doing for my own personal work and growth. So I wanted to share this with you today, and we were going to do some tapping around this and whatever might come up. But first, before we do, just maybe take a moment here and take a look, kind of refocus your energy to within you and really take a look at what that means for you. When you say this to yourself out loud or in your head or whatever's comfortable for you, my body is responding well to the changes I am making. And so for me, this initially started with, it could mean anything from working out, eating better, coming back to finding more alignment within the body, like taking care of the body more, which is always can be a big stepping stones. It always feels, maybe for me, it's always felt like it's been a lot of work, a lot of pressure within myself. And just like there's always been some resistance or restriction to it. It just feels kind of blah. But when I take a look at that affirmation with it, my body is responding well to the changes that I'm making. It really gives me a lot of room. It gives me a lot of grace. And then I feel more acceptance, and I'm more likely to follow through in whatever way feels comfortable for me and in alignment for me to work with my body. And this is something that I've done with money. Any kind of like receiving in any way, it sometimes is awkward, it's uncomfortable. We're not used to being seen, or we're not used to being acknowledged, or we're not used to being recognized in a certain way or given to in a certain way. And so we might do a lot of mindset work, we might do a lot of emotional belief work, all of that kind of stuff, but we can only go so far with it until our body actually has to back us as well. And so asking yourself what area of your life your body feels like it's not backing you. You're doing all of the things, you're taking action in certain ways, you are you kind of mapped out a little bit of a plan, using that intellectual energy or your mental energy. You've kind of worked through a little bit of the emotional blocks that come up with these things, but it's still, you don't feel like you're getting to where you want to be or you're making any forward movement. And a lot of the time, actually I was planning on sharing this yesterday, but it just didn't work out for me. But usually Sunday is the day that I will personally just kind of take a scan through my schedule. If I'm using a planner, I'll kind of write out my planner for the week, creating a to-do list or whatever that might look like in whatever way feels right for me at the time. And I will take a look at the things that the goals and intentions that I have. And so for me, it's really about, it has been a very, a mental energy, intellectual process. I want to be practical and analytical, and I want to make sure that, all the pieces are fitting properly together, time-wise and scheduling-wise, but also I take a look at the emotional capacity that I have for that week. And that's a big thing too. Of course, if you follow me, you know that energy management is a huge thing. And so our emotional energy gets acknowledged to some degree, but how much of the time does your body actually get to be in that conversation about what you're taking on this week, what you're working on this week, the goals that you have and the intentions that you have? And is your body on board with that? Is it backing you, or does it feel some resistance? And is it not? Is it not? Is the belief that you can get this done in like the disbelief, maybe that's a better way. You believe you can do it, you think you can believe you do it, you feel you believe you can do it, and then there's something within the body that says, no. And so taking a look at that today, that's what we're going to do. So I want you guys, if you're in a space to do so, to take a nice gentle breath and just begin to soften your gaze or close your eyes, whatever you're comfortable with doing, whatever's safe for you to do right now. And just tuning into your breath, taking a couple nice full breaths in whatever way is comfortable for you. And starting to feel your feet on the floor, your seat on the chair, your back being supported in the chair, wherever you're sitting. You can physically feel the anchor of your body and whatever is supporting it. Breathing gently, and begin to bring your attention to what you hear. Maybe you can hear some things outside of the room, just allowing that to be there, just observing. And then coming even more close to you inside the room that you're sitting in. And listening to whatever sounds may be happening around you. Just observing and gently breathing. And then bringing your attention and your awareness to within you. Maybe you can hear your heartbeat. Maybe you can hear your stomach gurgling. Maybe you can hear cracking or stretching in your muscles and your bones, whatever it might be. You can hear your breathing. And just observe and gently breathe. And asking your mind to become the advocate and the interpreter of what you feel in your body. Giving your body a place to share what is going on within it. And because our mind needs to be involved, otherwise it can feel resistant or contracted and constricted in trying to be aware of what's going on in the body, we want to include the mind. And again, just setting the intention that our mind is an advocate and an interpreter. And that it is going to relay to you what the body is feeling, what the body is sensing, what the body is holding or carrying. And that you're ready to take a look at that today, make space for it today. And you can be aware of it with openness and acceptance right now. Just observing what the body has to say. And that you can analyze this after we've gone through this practice today. You can analyze it later. We're just here to observe and be accepting of whatever's coming forth right now. So taking a nice gentle breath in and out, and you can start to open the eyes, or you can just follow the sound of my voice and follow along in the tapping sequence if you've already tapped with me before. And we're going to start tapping on the side of the hand and say, even though my mind likes to take over, it has a hard time allowing the body to speak clearly. I love and accept this part of me now. Even though my mind likes to schedule and plan, it likes to know all the little details. It likes the way things look on paper. It likes the clarity of neatness and tidiness. It has a hard time letting the body speak. And I am willing to let that be so today. Even though I usually like to think and feel about my week ahead, I like to think and feel about the way that I do things. I like to think and feel about the way I am open to receiving. I often forget about how it feels in my body. And I'm opening up that conversation today. Top of the head. My body is often neglected. Eyebrow point. I often don't allow it in this conversation. Side of the eye. I often only think about how I can manage the body. Underneath the eye. How I can get it to look and do what I want it to. Underneath the nose. Without giving it any real attention. Underneath the mouth. Without giving it any real thought. Collarbone point. Without allowing it to help me shape. Underneath the arms. How I think and feel about things. Underneath the chest. I don't include my body this way. Wrist points. I forget that my body carries my thoughts and my emotions. Top of the head. I forget that my body has a say in the way I do things. Eyebrow point. I forget that my body has a say in the way I feel about things. Side of the eye. I forget that my body is what guides me. Underneath the eye. I forgive myself now. Underneath the nose. For not acknowledging the body in this way. Underneath the mouth. I forgive myself for forgetting. Collarbone point. To include my body. Underneath the arms. I give myself permission now. Underneath the chest to let my body speak openly and freely. Wrist point. I'm curious about where the body's holding these emotions. Top of the head. These emotions that might be holding me back. Eyebrow point. I'm curious where the body has held onto my thoughts. Side of the eye. And how I believe or disbelieve that I can achieve what I want. Underneath the eye. Today I'm opening this connection and communication now. Underneath the nose. Because I would like to believe. Underneath the mouth. that my body is responding well. Collarbone point to the changes that I am making. Okay, so taking a nice gentle breath. If you have some water, take a drink of water. I've got coffee, it's not the same thing, but I will. And just checking in with yourself. Maybe taking a moment here and closing your eyes and taking a nice gentle breath. And just opening up that connection that you have with your body in a way that you are not trying to manage or manipulate it. You're not trying to get it to do something or to feel a certain way. And you're just opening up so that it can freely and openly and honestly give you some feedback about where you are right now, or where your body is right now, or where it's holding a certain feeling, an emotion, a certain sensation, a certain thought, whatever it might be, something within the body that it's holding. And you haven't quite allowed it to process through. And so right now, I'm reading this book called The Untethered Soul, and a lot of people have read this. It's something that has been on my radar for years, and I've never picked it up because, although I love the cover and I think it sounds amazing, it just hasn't been ready for me to pick it up yet. And a couple of weeks ago, I bought it and I started reading it, and things just started clicking. And of course, it's not just the book. It's a combination of all the things that I'm doing right now personally too. But what really what really clicked for me, and especially with the work that I'm doing with this advanced EFT course that I'm taking, it really brought into more of it just clicked even more to me that we have these experiences where we have an impression. So life is flowing, going by, we're allowing it to move through us, and we have an impression. We basically stop the flow, and in that moment we're kind of frozen or trapped or paused in time. And the same thing with this EFT course that I'm taking. It's about going into memory work or experiences, whether they're what you physically in real life have experienced or what you have thought you've experienced. So it could be just imagined. But anyway, it's those little impressions that we have that the energy kind of balls up. And I can't exactly remember how the book was describing it, but it's like the energy is wrapping itself around it because it's protecting itself, right? And it's not allowed to go anywhere because we've hung on to it. We've attached to it. And so what happens is the more we're able to bring these balls of energy that have been held within us for so long, the more we can bring those up to the surface, the more that we can kind of allow them to unfold and be released in a gentle way, in a safe way, the more we are able to experience more love, and we're able to let in more of what we do want. So I'd like to do another round and just opening up to, what the possibility, what would it look like if we had less space taken up by past energy moments or impressions that had not been processed and they have been kind of squashed down. And if we release those little by little in very soft, gentle, incremental ways, to create more and more and more in space so that we could allow in what we want. Yes, of course, we do this mentally. We do this with beliefs and with thought patterns and mindset work, and we do this emotionally, but the body is the one who holds that all together, right? The body has the mind in it. The body has the feelings in it. The body connects with, all of the organs and energy meridians and chakras and all of the things, right? So paying attention to the body is going to help us unlock it even more. So tapping on the side of the hand, taking a nice gentle breath. Say, even though it's easier sometimes to think and feel my way out of things, to think and feel patterns and habits, to shift my beliefs and my emotional reactions. By doing the mental and emotional work. And even though this is true, and it is important work to do, I seem to have forgotten about the body. And I'm curious how the body would help my expansion now. Even though I've forgotten about the body, and I've tried to manage and manipulate it, I'm open to seeing what guidance and knowing my body has for me today. Top of the head. I wonder what it would look like. Eyebrow point. If my body was responding well, side of the eye, to the changes that I was making. Underneath the eye, what would happen underneath the nose if I did this work with my body? Underneath the mouth, I wonder what I would find out. Collarbone point, I wonder what I've been carrying. Underneath the arms, I wonder what's been holding me back here. Underneath the chest, and I wonder what wisdom my body has in store. Wrist points, I've been harboring thoughts and emotions. Top of the head, within my body. Eyebrow point, I've been harboring these thoughts and emotions. Side of the eye, for so long. Underneath the eye, I wonder what would happen. Underneath the nose, if I released some of this energy now. Underneath the mouth, I wonder how it would feel. Collarbone point, to free up some of this space today. Underneath the arms, I'm curious how the body can help me now. Underneath the chest, and I'm curious how the body can guide me to expansion. Wrist points, I'm open and willing today. Top of the head, to give my body a little space. Eyebrow point, to release what is available and ready to be released. Side of the eye, so that I have a little more space. Underneath the eye, to receive what I am wanting to receive. Underneath the nose, I'm curious today. Underneath the mouth, about how my body can respond well. Collarbone point, to the changes that I'm making. Okay, so taking a nice gentle breath and just checking in again. It's funny because I can feel things shifting in my own body. And for the last few days, I've been working with this affirmation specifically and just doing tapping and restorative yoga and all the rest of it. But a lot of it moves from my knees to like my shoulders, to like the bottom of my neck to the shoulders. So like, and of course, because I love astrology and I love all of like the energetic work, I've been using those things as tools to kind of feel into what it would be like, what might be stored in there. And so the knees represents in astrology Saturn, which is all about life lessons and structure and responsibility and reputation. It's very much the lessons of life, basically. And then also, the shoulders, it's like taking that as literal as it is. Like there's weight on the shoulders, there's lessons, there's responsibility, there's structures that I've been carrying around for so long, and I can feel that weight on my shoulders. So it's really interesting to kind of dig into that. So if you feel anything specifically in your body, take a look at what that body part is, what it represents. Is there a spiritual or symbolic meaning to that body part? Is there, the shoulders, like not exactly, I couldn't find anything specific to astrology, but the arms and the nervous system, and I think I forget what, but the arms and nervous system for sure, like Gemini, and the knees are Saturn, which is Capricorn. So like there's a lot of different things there. So there's a lot of room to play and just kind of see what clicks for you. And so, yeah, just taking a look at, just being open and curious. I think we try to, our mind really likes to be involved with things. It really likes to be the center of attention. And so if we are allowing it to filter, our emotions and our thoughts and our physical sensations with the mind's interpretation, that is one thing. But if we can get it to a place where it's like super neutral and it's just observing as it comes up, as as honestly and as openly and as freely as the emotion can be, or the physical sensation can be, or the thought can be, without any attachment, without making it mean anything necessarily, which this is all, it's such a fluid back and forth, like there's like moving in and out, and I don't really, the term, it's like dancing with all of these parts. I don't like the cliche of it, but it's what it is. Basically, we're dancing between like understanding where we're attaching, where we're making this mean something more. Is it our mind that's making it mean something? Is it past experiences that makes this mean something? Anyway, it's just super, super interesting. So I hope this was helpful today. I would like to just end on a quick tapping round and breathing, no speaking. We're just going to allow it to anchor in. If you enjoyed this session, you can share it, or you can let me know if you had any comments or questions or aha moments or whatever it was. And if you are interested in this work and checking it out a little bit more deeply and specifically for you personally, you can reach out to me. I have a session bundle on sale right now for 5 sessions, and it's loosely based around the Worthiness from Within program that I have, but it's just 5 individual sessions loosely based on that framework, and then meeting you where you're at and helping you just tune in a little bit more, sift and sort through the thoughts and the emotions, and like just to make sense of, even a tiny bit of things, to make sense of something, a little bit of clarity, a little bit more understanding and awareness. I'm all for the long haul, the legacy work stuff. It's been very, very interesting, especially bringing in this advanced EFT where we are working with memory work, past experiences, past parts of self, present parts of self, future parts of self, and really just taking a look. What I've found is working with either generational or karmic beliefs and repatterning those beliefs, and taking a look at, the handed down emotions that can sometimes, manipulate us or steer us in a different direction there, but they're not quite, they supported us at one time, but they don't anymore. And then of course there's and beyond, so ancestral and and past lives, all of that kind of stuff. So anyway, if you are interested, reach out. I won't be taking on too many clients until January, but I do have a couple spots open right now. So if that is something that you're interested in, let me know. And let's just close out today by doing some tapping and breathing. So taking a nice gentle breath, beginning by tapping on the top of the head, breathing in and out. And eyebrow point, breathing in and out. And side of the eye, breathing in and out. Underneath the eye, breathing in and out. Underneath the nose, breathing in and out. Underneath the mouth, breathing in and out. Collarbone point, breathing in and out. Underneath the arms, breathing in and out. Underneath the chest, breathing in and breathing out. And wrist points, breathing in and breathing out. All right, everybody, have an amazing rest of your day, and we'll chat with you soon. Bye.